Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Tube Talk. Sorry we missed it last week. It was a bit of a mucky week. I was otherwise engaged for all of the week. Albert and Doug were still on the bench. They are back, but they've given me one more run at doing Tube Talk this week, and they'll be back in the chair next week, which I'm sure you'll all be looking forward to. Looking back at the last week, we had a winner with save a date for me on the synthetic track at Pakenham last Friday night. It was the Stayers series final. A really good win from him. He got a long way back in the field, but he sprinted sharply, really put them away. He won by close to 2 lengths going away from them. A good race for him to win, with it being worth $50,000 and very much well deserved. He'd been racing in terrific form, certainly was deserving of a win, and he did pick that up last week. So he's now gone out for a spell. He's been up for quite some time. He'll enjoy a break, and I do think, just based on the way he's raced this time in and confidence taken out of that win, he'll be winning more races next time in also. Cinnamon Girl at Riccarton last Saturday on the turf track for a change. She ran a really good race, finishing third over the 1400 metres. All the way up the straight, she looked to be the winner of the race. She got a really nice run throughout. I thought Courtney Barnes did a good job with her. And without being critical, I just would have liked to have seen Courtney wait for 3 or 4, 5 strides at the top of the straight before presenting her. But nonetheless, a really good tough run from Cinnamon Girl. In her last 13 starts, she's finished in the top 3 on 10 occasions, including 1 win. So a really consistent campaign from her. And she's also gone out for a spell. At Roscommon in Ireland on Tuesday morning, Soul of Spain, he got his new campaign underway, finishing a nice third. We gelded him after he last raced, and I just think he was more switched on, focused, and probably a bit more genuine also at Roscommon on Tuesday. Still did a bit wrong, but the will was there. The jockey just said that the track was quite gluey, quite holding, which didn't really suit him, but he was happy with the run. Believes he'll improve with it, and he'll be hard to beat next start. So that's a quick review of last week. On to this week we move. So our first runner is later this afternoon or this evening at Wyong, Etna Rosso in the $250,000 Wyong Cup. Looks to be a really nice race for him. He was super impressive when winning last start, as you'll see by looking at the video. James and McDonald rode him on that day. We've got a change of rider today, Kieran McAvoy taking over from James, who was suspended. So we lose nothing in horsemanship there. It's down to an 8-horse field, which I guess is a slight concern in its own right. It can, often small fields like that, it can turn into a real jog and sprint affair. But we saw Etna Rosso show a really good turn of foot last start. He's trained on well since then. He's come up as a very short price favourite, which does make me nervous. And he is up in class. He's up against some Group 1 winners in there. You've got the likes of Manzoist that has won a Derby, the Lions Roar, which won the Randwick Guineas. So genuine Group 1 horses, a big step up in class. But if he does run up to what he did last start and the breaks go his way, I think he will be certainly very hard to beat. From there, we go to Ruakaka tomorrow, where we've got the one runner, quality time over the 1400 metres. His last start resulted in a win at this venue. He was subsequently turned out for a spell. Drawn barrier 4 tomorrow, drawn to get a nice run. He has had a jump out to ready him for tomorrow's race, and his work at home has been good. But we do think the 1400 metres may just be a touch sharp for him. We do think he can go a cheeky race, but hard to see him winning over the 1400 metres. We've got some really nice cups targets in mind for him, and he'll be better once he has a couple of runs under his belt and once he has stepped up in distance. So that's quality time. We then go down to Hastings, Group 1 day at Hastings. We've got Velocious in the Gold Trail Stakes, a 1200 metre race for the 3-year-old fillies. Look, I don't think there's any getting away from the fact she was a touch disappointing when resuming at Taupo, but Stephen's happy with the way she has come through that race. Her work has been good, and I think the real key is getting her back onto a good track. It was a good 4 earlier in the week. I think it's a good 5 today after irrigation has been applied. But it's going to be a better surface than the one she resumed on. I just think she's a horse that just likes it rock hard. As the firmer the better. She's drawn to get a beautiful run. She's dropping 3.5 kilos from the weight she carried last start. So that's also a big assist. Craig Grill's in the saddle. It is a good field she's up against, no doubting that, but she is class. She's all class. Hopefully she picks up the champion 2-year-old for the last season at the Racing Awards on Sunday night. We'll keep our fingers crossed for that, and fingers crossed also for an improved effort from Velocious tomorrow. Across to Doomben we go tomorrow. We've got the 3 horses in one race, which doesn't very often happen with us. We've got Lord Admore, Otira and Wairiri Falls all racing over the 2,000 metres. And I think all 3 would have to be given some sort of chance. Lord Admore, he's been going good races, but just over distances that are a bit short of his best. He just hasn't got the early speed anymore to get himself into a prominent position over those shorter distances. He's crying out for 2,000 metres. He's drawn the inside barrier. He should be handy to the speed throughout. And I think he is a genuine winning chance, certainly an each-way chance. He hasn't won for a while, but his form overall has been pretty good. He's been going good races, as I say, over distances short of his best. And I don't think he'll run a nice race tomorrow. Otira, his form looks poor, reads poor, but he has been racing in some strong Sydney races over distances short of his best also. He's another that is looking for the 2,000 metres. Well drawn, barrier 4 with Ryan Maloney, one of Queensland's top riders in the saddle. So he should also be handy to the speed throughout. The key for him is just to make sure he relaxes and settles in the running, conserving energy for the last part of the race. But he's won 3 times at Doomben, and I do believe he's over the odds. Yesterday he was paying $21 on the fixed odds, certainly the outsider of our 3 runners in the race. But I do believe he's certainly worth an each-way bet. Wairiri Falls has had 2 runs this time in. Has never won past 1,600 metres, but has placed over 2,000 metres. Drawn barrier 3, so should get a really nice soft run just in behind the speed, which it will give him the chance to run out a strong 2,000 metres. He's been going well. He's certainly knocking on the door based on his first 2 runs, and I think he's also a chance. So 3 runners in the race, a trifecta would be nice, but as I say, I do think they're all ready to run well, the 3 horses that are in that race. So the 1 runner, Logan, at the Valley, Logan Street Lion, he's resuming over the 1,600 metres. A really consistent horse this. He's one that always gives his best, which can be to his own detriment. He seems to leave it out on the track every single time he races. Resuming over 1,600 metres after having had a decent break. Has won twice before fresh up, but I do think he will need this run tomorrow. He's just getting that wee bit older. May need a run or 2 just to get his race day fitness up. But he has drawn barrier 1, which is certainly a big assist at the Valley with Kieran McAvoy in the saddle. And once again, he will be giving his best. And if he's doing his best work late and gets the luck in the running, he is capable of sneaking into a place. And then on to our last runner of the day, which is Big Bay Wolf at the Sunshine Coast on Sunday. Contrary to what was said in yesterday's weekly report, he will race over the 1,600 metres. It is a bigger field, but in a lower grade. The form man for the Nation stable believes he's better placed in that race. So that's where he will race. It always gives us the option then of going up in distance. He's obviously having his first start out of the Annabelle Neesham stable, having transferred there from John O'Shea. The team there have been really happy with the way he's settled in. His work's been good. He's been nice and fresh and bouncy. So we do expect him to run well and possibly worth backing once he does get up slightly further in trip. So that's the wrap on our runners for the coming days. We'll now take you on to Bet of the Week. So I've gone for Hastings. Not a lot of value, but I just can't go past Chris Shetty. I think he's a very good bet in the Group 1 there. Race 9 at Hastings. He is short on the odds, but he returned in devastating style. He's only been beaten once in his career. A Group 1 winner, looks to have come back bigger and stronger for this campaign. So Chris Shetty's my bet of the week in New Zealand. Over at Randwick, race 5 Galaron. I certainly don't mind that horse. Has been racing really well for the Annabelle Neesham team. And of the Go Racing runners, I would have to say that Etna Rosso is our best. We've certainly got some lovely horses racing this week, but he seems to have plenty of upside. And despite being against a strong field, I do think he is the best of our runners for the weekend. So good luck And Albert and Doug will be back with their Tube Talk next week. Thank you.
For stride, Fell Swoop, Russian Revolution. English comes off heels and the mare is starting to let down. English goes after Fell Swoop. Russian Revolution's run his race further back to Voodoo Lad. It's English and Fell Swoop fighting it out. Chautauqua very late. It's English a half length in front. Can he do it? Chautauqua, he's flying. Yes, there's history. Chautauqua makes it 3 in a row.